As you can see, No Shave November is off to a good start. Unfortunately, this also means you can tell the depth of my weird second chin I shouldn't have as a young man. And the neck beard is ultimately why I don't like to grow my beard out. But oh my god. But duty calls. My family will disown me.
I'm really pissed off right now.
Bien, Videolog is spectacular!
Hey guys, it's Tuesday, November 14th. Beware the Ides of November. I know I'm probably really poorly lit right now, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a look of not only what my dorm room looks like from a different angle, but also what I look at every time I sit down in here and record a vlog to you guys. Now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to do much actual recording right now. Sorry about the conspicuous jump cut. Chad just came in and decided the camera needed to go for a tour. So as you may remember, there are some things I recorded previous to the last video that I wanted to include but could not for time constraints. So I said I would include them in this video, and I'm gonna do that, but because of more time constraints, I'm just gonna go ahead and kick it over to crazy nighttime, less bearded Ian. One thing that happens whenever Katie Giblin talks is I feel the urge to not want to be a terrible person anymore. Which is to say, I'd really like to stop spending all my time doing things like playing Call of Duty 2, which I didn't get into until I went to college, or just doing nothing in general, and start spending that time doing things that are, like, actually good for me, or good for anything. Because Call of Duty 2 is not good for anything. I've come to the realization that a lot of my Call of Duty time is probably based on my inability to stick to the plan that is my handy dandy notebook. The whole idea behind the handy dandy notebook, of course, was that I would actually write down things that I need to do and then would spend all my time thinking about how I could cross those things off the list. Bam! Success! Feeling good! Oh yeah! Winning! I fear what has happened is that as I've slowly gotten into the swing of college and figured out how I can get by on doing things, I've trained myself into my old habits of being generally lazy. As I start to challenge myself to actually pay attention to my handy dandy notebook, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could periodically, like down the road when I've inevitably settled back into my old ways, to just prod me by simply asking, hey, how's that thing going? Which, unless things are going pretty well, will immediately cause me to remember that I'm being a terrible person who's wasting my life away. And also, you guys can help me out by suggesting things that I can put in my handy dandy notebook. For instance, before this video is posted, I hope to have completed the following tasks: buy a hardline phone for the room, buy a Scantron sheet, buy a number 2 pencil, and purchase a pillow. And while being able to make phone calls and take my second midterm and sleep on my bed are all very practical things to accomplish, I feel like they're the kind of tasks that are ultimately going to lead me into this sour depression that involves me playing Call of Duty until I'm old and alone and dead. That, I think, is one of the things that I love so much about this vlog, is that it's a vessel for me. It's the perfect tool for the insecure person. I can justify only talking to my old friends from high school, I can spend as much time as I want editing the whole thing, and stay inside all day, and I can imagine that through some sort of weird Ethernet cable osmosis, I can absorb all of the good productivity and creativity from the other 5 people. And for as much as this vlog has already led to some pretty awesome things, it's also led to me killing Nazis in my spare time. So as the weather starts to change and beards start to grow, I'd like for November to be a turning point for the vlog. I know that we're all busy college students, which is why I don't want to put any pressure on any of you guys, because certainly until next quarter, when it's possible I will have more classes and more stuff to do, I don't have enough to do right now, and I never have. In high school, I had so much free time and still didn't turn things in. And I don't want that to be acceptable for Ian Robertson anymore. In case you guys couldn't guess, it's after midnight that I'm recording this, which is when Ian gets really philosophical and starts referring to himself in the third person. One of my first acts to attempt to counteract this whole problem was to sign up for something that is called NaNoWriMo. The problem ultimately with this is that in choosing it, I tried to pick something that was a little bit carrot and a little bit stick, and the problem is that the carrot is ultimately going to be the stick that destroys the stick, or something. My fear is that because writing is something I theoretically like to do, NaNoWriMo is ultimately going to turn into an excuse for me to not get the actual studying that I have to get done. That's why I've tried to get a book club started. That's why I keep asking you guys to tell me to do things with my receipts. It's not just because I want to know what all you guys think about all these things, especially since none of you guys end up telling me anyway. I don't run the vlog, you guys have your own things, I understand. But it would be really awesome if I could get something going with the receipts, or with some sort of DIY project, or with reading or something, because the busier I get, the more I think I'll be able to train myself to become a busy person by nature. And while I can't currently prove that being busy is something that makes you a satisfied person, being busy doing nothing, I can promise you, is what makes you an unsatisfied person. Guys, if you could help me out, that would be...
Happy dance!